A podcast isn't about getting views, it's about getting access in the marketplace. In this video, I'm gonna teach you exactly how to build a podcast and build a personal brand so people get to know, like, and trust you, man. So I've been in the world of podcasting and interviewing people the last almost probably say 2 years or so now, right? And the reason why I got into this is because I felt like I wanted to work on my skill of actually finding a voice. And you see, oftentimes to find your voice in any market, you don't actually start off as an expert. You start off as not knowing what you're doing, right? In order to find your voice, you're gonna go through a problem. And that problem could be you probably lost a job, or you're probably, trying to find a way to make some extra money, but you're probably just, you're lost. You just don't know where to go, right? And then you discover this problem for yourself. But then you figure out, okay, you start a business, right? You solve some problems. You're buying, you're selling devices. Now people are getting to know you. You're solving their problems. Now you can start becoming an expert, right? Because you've seen a gap in the marketplace. You solved your own problems, and that starts with personal development. You have personal development. You get to know yourself a little bit. You discover what you're good at, what you're not good at. Then you can start helping other people, right? Whether that's in music, whether that's in the gym, right? Whether that's you're a consultant, right? There's different kind of markets you could pick. The reason why I believe podcast is so powerful, it's another form of networking, right? So now you're leveraging people that you know to get to know who they are, because at the end of the day, human beings, they talk a lot about themselves. And if you can know more about them, then you've essentially won the battle, right? Because most people, they want a voice. They want to be heard. So if you're going to be good at this thing called podcast and getting to know people, it's like nowadays it's a new channel. It's like the new media platform, right? So you have to build an authority in the marketplace. And how do you do that? You build that by getting to know yourself and also by building your personal brand. Once you build your personal brand, people are going to want to jump on to what you're doing, right? The reason why a podcast is a leverage, because especially nowadays with distribution, right? Because here's the thing, Daniel Priestley talks about this in Oversubscribe. You have to become a key person of influence, right? And you have to build digital assets, right? So do you have any form of way people can find you? Like if I search your name up on Google, on Instagram, can I just look at your profile and see exactly what you are and what you do, right? That's going to be very important, because if we can't find you anywhere, then most likely you don't have an SEO, a search engine optimization. And the only way you're going to build is by being able to document your content, whether you're doing short form videos, whether you're doing carousels, right? These are like picture form video pictures, right? Explaining your storytelling aspect, how you got into the business, right? You're sort of sharing your ideas with people, and you're bringing value to the marketplace. In exchange, they're essentially maybe one day they're gonna buy a product from you, or just essentially you're gonna see, okay, you actually keep showing up on these platforms. How do you support you, right? So building a media machine is very important, because then you can leverage, right, your followers to get to know who they are by being able to tap into their network, right? So number one, to build a podcast, all you really need, you just need to find out what is your story. What are you going to talk about? Like, what is your why, right? Like, who are you going to be interviewing? What is your ideal target audience? Who is the market you want to target? For me, when I started, I targeted business owners because I wanted to learn from people who have a business, because I also had a business as well too. But I wanted to see exactly, what are people doing? How are they having success? What is their story? And I realized most people that I've interviewed, all of them have the same thing in common. Most of them did not graduate high school. They do not have a bachelor's degree. They're just essentially people who've just essentially built a business by failing, by trying multiple times, by getting back up. It's just called perseverance. And a lot of them too, they did not inherit wealth. They're not self-made. This word self-made is a lie, man. Most people who are successful in any line of business, they either had to go through some issues in their early life. They had to go through some problems. They were able to solve their problems, and then they became an expert. So that's the biggest thing that I've learned. So that's why I decided to jump on and start interviewing these people so I can get to know exactly how they're doing it. Because what I want to do is I want to save time, right? If I'm just getting into the business and I can interview someone for about an hour and I can get 5 to 10 years worth of knowledge, of wisdom, that could save me so much time, man. So, and that's why I really love podcasts, because I get to know people, I get to learn. Also, I get to ask questions and work on my communication skills, right? So step number one, to start a podcast, you're going to have to find a distribution, right? So depending on what you're going to call your podcast, My podcast is called The Rise with Hani Mahari. Because anytime someone gets on my podcast, I feel like we're going to the top. We're going to rise up and above and beyond against our challenges, against our wins, right? So pick what is your title going to be about. Have a poster. This could be a simple thing. You could probably use Canva, to go out there, design a poster. Here's a simple thing as well too. Go out there, just search up people who already have podcasts. Take a little bit of their idea. Do not copy them, right? Take their ideas and implement it into you. Especially nowadays with ChatGPT, you could literally have a poster done in the title within like 5 minutes, man. So once you've done this and established this, now the next step is you're gonna want to find out, are you gonna be doing it digital or in person? If you're just starting, I'd probably say you could do it, in person, because you don't need to have the most fanciest setup. You can even start off with an iPhone as well too, right? You can start off with an iPhone. That's how I literally started my podcast, right? I started off with an iPhone and like a $20 mic from Amazon, right? And you know what I mean? So this is the easiest way to do it because you don't have to go and buy the newest, I'll probably say, microphone, right? You want to start off, with low capital because you want to work on your repetition. You want to work on the skills of talking to people, right? Doing as many reps as possible so you can get going, man. So once you've established, okay, are you going to do this digital or are you going to do this virtual, right? So then you're probably going to want to go find some guests, right? Depending on what your target is. Here also too, you got to understand, once you find a person you want to interview, now the goal is to have your podcast on all platforms. So you have to have a distribution channel. This is called an RSS, right? You need an RSS, and how you get this RSS is essentially you have to go and find a platform that you can be able to distribute your podcast. So number one, what I use for my podcast is it's a platform called Podcast AI. It's what I distribute all my podcasts, and I send it to Apple Music. Apple Podcasts or Spotify, right? That's how I sent my podcast. And then once that's in there, I take the actual video and I distribute it to YouTube, and I could use the same RSS feed, right? So then also too, let's say for example, you want to just start off and you want to do this digitally. If you want to do digital, you can go ahead and use a platform like Riverside, right? Riverside, I think you could do a 30-day trial for free just to kind of test out the platform, right? So depending on how you want to do it, is it digital or in person? Also too, you don't need the most fanciest setup for the mic. Like I said, you could literally get a $20 mic from Amazon, right? And if you want to do it virtually, you could use maybe your laptop or computer, and then boom, you can start producing your content or episodes, right? And the most important thing, man, is just going out there, interviewing someone that you find, okay, this person probably has a lot of value. Also too, when you're getting to know yourself and who they are, right, you're also building a relationship that way as well, right? So number one, you started your podcast, you got your poster, you got your title for what it's going to be called, and it's picking out exactly what distribution channel you want to use, whether you're going to go digital or virtual, right? Probably say the best thing you want to do in the beginning is you have low capital, you probably want to go digital because you probably want to interview people over online or something like that. So once you get that going, now you're probably in your first episode, you're shooting this podcast, right? You're interviewing your guest speaker, right? You get to know who they are. And once you shoot this episode, right, you can literally just use your iPhone. If you're doing it in person, you can shoot this on your iPhone and then be able to essentially extract this audio or video. You could take this and put it into a platform, right? Or use ChatGPT. What you could literally do is create a prompt using ChatGPT. This is what I do, right? I'll take the transcript from that actual video, take the whole transcript, right? What you do is you take it, you put it into ChatGPT, and then what you want to do is you want to go out there and pick the top platforms, top podcasters in the world, people like, Diary of CEO, the top podcasts that you really like. Take their thumbnails, their wording, exactly everything that they say in their video. Tell ChatGPT, hey, I want you to be an expert in this, right? I want you to essentially take this person right here, right? Diary of CEO or Stephen Bartel, and give me everything that he's using in his thumbnails and his hooks and what he talks about, his reframe, right? So essentially you would take that exact topic line that he's talking about, and now you would take your transcript and put that into ChatGPT. And then you could tell it things like, hey, help me create a thumbnail, help me create a title for this podcast, right? So now what you could have spent hours and hours doing, because you used a transcript, right? And how you can get this transcript, you could use a platform like Riverside, because Riverside, the digital version, once you upload your video into Riverside, essentially you could take this video. Now you can transcript the whole thing. Also too, if you're worried about editing your video, you're probably now trying to get to that phase now. You want to edit your video and put it out there to distribution. The reason why I like Riverside, because it's an all-in-one platform. You could literally insert it in there, and then you could literally just, it could give you like, 5 different short form videos. It can literally give you a long form video or edited. And here's the thing, you could literally click one button with the power of AI that it has, and you could literally just have everything transcript. It can remove all the filters, all the noise, right? It could literally save you so much time by being able to do that. So once you've done that, now you could literally take the transcript and put it into AI, have your title, your thumbnail, exactly what you're gonna talk about, and then boom, man, you're off to the races. Now you could take this and start distributing on Instagram, on Facebook, right? Depending on what you do on YouTube Shorts. You wanna go on LinkedIn, you wanna post on all platforms. The reason why I do this is because I feel like social media is like like it's like a slot machine. So the more you throw in there, the more, the more platforms you go on, the more likely you're gonna have a higher chance of succeeding. Except if you only just focus on one platform, let's say for example like TikTok, you might not never find your ideal client profile. They might be on LinkedIn, they might be on Facebook, on Instagram. You just never know, right? So the more you distribute on all these platforms, someone could be like, hey man, I think I saw your video. It was on LinkedIn, right? And I really saw it. And boom, just like that, because you're targeting multiple platforms, you're not just focusing on one, right? So that's the goal, man. You want to have your platform distributed everywhere once you get going, man. And the key here is, man, you want to do your first episode, work on the reps, right? Get better over time. Talk to your guests, get to know who they are. And then after every episode, see exactly what mistakes you made, what you could do right? So every time you're doing an episode, you're going to get better and better and better, right? Because here's the thing, the goal is to get to at least, 5 episodes. If you got to 5 episodes, you're already ahead of the curve, man. You do 5, after that you do 10, and the more you do it, the better you're gonna get over time, man. And next thing you know, you're gonna realize that, you're actually building a network, you're getting to know people, and now you found like a passion of just, get to know business owners. They also want to share their story with you because they feel like, okay, they can actually find value. Because at the end of the day, like I was saying earlier in the beginning, people like to talk about themselves. So if you give them a platform to talk about themselves, they're going to want to get to know you. They're going to want to give you whatever they can in exchange for the value that you're providing for them. At the end of the day, man, personal brand is the ultimate leverage that you can get, especially in today's economy, man. So if you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe. Also too, if you want my exact document and how I break down everything in a spreadsheet, and I give you exactly how I do my podcast, how I start it, how I get the hooks, what I talk about, all you have to do, go to Instagram at Hani Mahari, message me the word YouTube podcast personal brand, and I'm gonna send it to you, man. Stay tuned for this next video. Make sure to subscribe, and I'm out, man.